Hello everyone. Following is a commentary on the article that I posted about Gary Vaynerchuk on how he extracted over $200 million from the NFT market from 2021 to 2023 through various fraudulent activities, including his project VeeFriends. Full disclaimer, I was a VeeFriends holder myself. Once I saw the fraudulent activities, I decided to sell out, raise awareness, because obviously I can't be part of that. I did make some profits because I did see the market conditions and I saw where everything was going. And I tried to warn everybody to follow suit because, again, we were just a part of that cycle. I hope you enjoy the following commentary. Thank you. Here is the commentary for the revised Gary V. Vaynerchuk Exposed article, The VeeFriends Scam. How Gary Vaynerchuk extracted over $200 million through fraud in the NFT market from 2021 to 2023. This article also serves as a report. Here's the original article that I posted on March 14th. This one is more like a story. It has a lot more words to it, whereas my revised article was a lot more direct evidence from Gary, a lot less words and explanation. I did omit a couple things from the revised article because I didn't find any new evidence, so I didn't feel the need to repeat myself like twice, like with Christie's auction, with his zero cool cards as well. Here is Gary admitting to making over $90 million with NFTs. Gary also taking in an extra $50 million from investors for his VeeFriends project. And there's Gary will constantly mention that he's building the next Disney, Pokemon, Sesame Street, basically saying whatever his supporters wanted to hear, he was going to say it. Here's a list of projects, each earning royalties every time an NFT is sold. So 10% for VeeFriends, the original collection of 10,000 supply. He said specifically he wasn't going to release any more NFTs for another 3 years. And 200,000 NFTs later from his edition, from the original 10,000 was released, all earning royalties. And that's not including all the VaynerNFT collaborations and partnerships that he was associated with that we will see down below. I posted an additional article exposing Andy Krainak, the president of VeeFriends. There's a lot of insider trading, conflict of interest for over $1 million. I'll show you this article quickly. Basically, it's just a quick introduction. And then right away, we see him selling VeeFriends and VeeCon. Now he has another wallet selling a Goo VeeFriend a week after the project sold out. Which again, that's just for the president of the same company. That's horrible. And now we're going to see basically screenshots of Gary mentioning projects and Andy selling off of Gary's call. A variety of projects. World of Woman, Wolf Game, Crypto Skulls, Brain Vomit Garden, Creature World, Deadheads, Crypto Holders, Plasma Bears, Avatar, Avastars, I apologize, Fame Lady Squad, which was actually taken over by a VeeFriends holder, Koala Intelligence Agency, Curio Cards, Girls Gang, which was a PLP project, which again had direct affiliation with Gary Vaynerchuk. That was part of his program. And yeah, essentially he extracted over $1 million just from that. This will be my final article on this topic, as I definitely want to move on and speak about other things. Highlight the extent of Gary Vaynerchuk's fraudulent activity. I did bring up 3 cases. One of them was from the SEC, Charging Impact Theory by Tom Billier. Now, Tom Billier basically copied Gary's playbook. So you will see he's got different tokens at different price points. He's saying that it's going to be the next Disney. Can't wait. We're building this IP. So he was just using the exact same words as Gary, essentially. And then so he got caught. Now the next one by the SEC was Stoner Cats. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher were the face of the project. Now I cannot 100% confirm this. However, a lot of trustworthy sources have told me that Gary Vaynerchuk's company, Vayner3, or formerly known as VaynerNFT, was actually in charge of the marketing. So everything that they got charged for was actually based on because of Gary Vaynerchuk's team, which is very interesting if that's true. Now, case number 3, OpenSea, the NFT marketplace, insider trading by Nathaniel Chaston. People know him as Nate. It was essentially $50,000 that he inside traded, and he got charged. Which brings my, so that's why this is very concerning, and I have to bring up Andy Krainak because he's significantly worse than what Nate has done. That's for sure. And it just solidifies Gary Vaynerchuk's fraudulent behaviors as well behind, right, market manipulation. It just ties in with everything as well. Now here's the table of contents for the new revised article. I'll go over this quickly. Yeah, so yeah, before he launched VeeFriends NFT, he was involved with the NFT market just a little bit. He was manipulating the CryptoPunks. There's video evidence of this that we're going to go see down below. Again, so securities fraud, market manipulation, insider trading, artificial demand, just with that one project. Now, there were several projects that he hyped, pumped, basically essentially conducted fraud with as well before he launched VeeFriends. And he did this in order to establish his image inside the NFT community. He wanted to be one of the, crypto bros. He wanted to be accepted. A lot of celebrities would come in and they wouldn't do very well because the NFT community was like, well, you're obviously only in here for the money. And Gary's whole plan with this was to try to convince people that he wasn't. However, we're going to find out that he was. VeeFriends fraudulent activities, again, securities fraud, market manipulation, creating artificial demand, price anchoring, fraudulent misrepresentation, insider trading, conflict interest, as we've seen with Andy. That's just one example out of many. Encouragement of unregistered securities. Gary used to call these investments, and then he started to change his words once he saw people being right, like when he saw the two SEC cases, he started to change his vocabulary. And we also see VeeFriends, like Gary and VeeFriends, conducting consumer fraud, self-shaming, and intellectual property infringement. And again, evidence from the actual original artists themselves. Now, there's fraud with various NFT projects. Gary, essentially, at the end of the day, was trying to boost up his VeeCon conference, which was associated with the VeeFriends NFT. And now he needed more notable speakers, more notable individuals. So he started manipulating a lot of NFT projects that otherwise wouldn't have received the amount of attention that they did. He conducted a variety of fraud, such as securities fraud, market manipulation, artificial demand, price anchoring, fraudulent misrepresentation, insider trading, and conflicts of interest with those as well. Now his VeeCon conference, we're going to go over, again, just a long list, basically pretty much the same list of fraud conducted with breach of contract, which we'll go over again once we reach that section. Child exploitation, so financial gain from Nastya, long necky ladies by Nyla Hayes, and he also has a deleted tweet, which was his attempt to exploit more children for the NFT market. And then there's video evidence of him admitting to physical child abuse, which is extremely concerning considering he's now the founder and owner of a children's brand. He released book games NFTs shortly after. Again, specifically mentioning he wouldn't do so for another 3 years. At this point, it was two more years he had to wait. However, we can see that he didn't want to wait because he wanted to benefit from the market as much as he could. Again, we see a long list of fraudulent activities as well. Now he launched VeeFriends 2, which was, again, an additional 55,000 NFTs. Book Games was 125,000 NFTs from the original 10,000 that he said that he was going to limit it to for the next 3 years. So right away, a year into the project, he's already conducted market manipulation. Like, he's just lying, deceit. I mean, everything that he sold us on the original VeeFriends so far has been a lie, basically. He committed theft from his own VeeFriends investors and his holders. He stole Dorian's art, which they were 100% aware. There was text messages between Dorian and Andy specifically speaking about this. And then they came into the Discord and lied about it, saying they never knew. And then that was my turning point. That's when I completely left the Discord and I said no more. They stole Loic's art for a Ledger collab without giving him any credit. And then they stole Jacob's application, his app. Again, we'll go over that down below. Others exposing Gary Vaynerchuk. I have that in my original article as well. I did find Nerd City's video after I posted my original article, which is probably one of the best videos I've ever seen exposing Gary Vaynerchuk's fraudulent activities in the NFT market. He does a very good job going over the book games and putting everything together, and there's a lot of video evidence from Gary, his mouth himself. And then they do have a podcast speaking about it, which further enforces the video and commentary by Pyrocynical, Colossal is Crazy, and Dolan Darker, along with Nerd City. And then I have other YouTubers and former VeeFriend holders exposing Gary Vaynerchuk as well. Now, his association with scammers, Ty Lopez, was before VeeFriends. This is just to show that he doesn't care about their reputation. He'll do anything for attention, essentially, at the end of the day. He will associate himself with anyone. Logan Paul with CryptoZoo, and he was exposed for because of CoffeeZilla, FaZe Banks, as well with the CryptoPunks with MrBeast, Logan Paul. Farouk is a notorious pump and dumper in the NFT market, and Beanie was one of the worst grifters in the NFT market as well in 2021. I have a closing statement here, and I wanted to add additional information because Gary also conducted fraud through his company VaynerNFT, now known as Vayner3. There was the PLP program that I've mentioned earlier. Came out with an NFT restaurant called Fish Salad Club, which we'll go over down below. He released 1,000 more NFTs called VeeFriends Iconics, again, just to further extract more money for himself. He came out with Vayner Sports Pass the same day as the VeeFriends 2 sold out, and it sold out, and he knew he had a bunch of people waiting with extra money, and instead of it going elsewhere into the NFT market, he funneled them all into Vayner Sports Pass right after VeeFriends 2 sold out. And then he started claiming that it wasn't his project, it's his brother's project. However, yeah, it was a clear partnership. Like, Gary pumped and hyped the project through various channels. And then we're going to go over some companies that he tarnished their reputation inside Web3. Again, these were his connections from his VaynerMedia agency. Pepsi, NFTs, Budweiser, 7-Eleven, Roblox, Johnny Walker, Crown Royal, Bud Light, Reddit Marketplace, GameStop Marketplace, and then MLB through Candy Digital. Again, all subject to fraudulent activities. There was no follow-through. There was no follow-up with any of these projects. He hyped and pumped. And we can see he even encouraged them, saying that you're going to make money in the future. And we're going to see all that down below. Let's begin. Here's the video evidence of misconduct. Gary Vaynerchuk's phone call in a, quote, billionaire group call reveals insider trading, market manipulation, and creating artificial demand with the CryptoPunks project, as admitted by MrBeast and Logan Paul.
I know you're big into crypto.
Yeah.
crypto's been killing it, man.
Especially for you. About it,
Let's fucking go. Yeah. I'll show you my portfolio after this, but I also, so me and Logan both bought punks. You guys have probably seen on his Twitter that he bought a bunch of CryptoPunks at the same time, right? When Gary pulled us in that call. So have you ever told that story?
No.
Gary V, it's like fucking 11 p.m. just out of nowhere, just calls me and he's like, yo, I got like 30 people to call, hop in. I'm like, I don't care. He's like, it'll be the best decision of your life. Just get in. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And so I just joined the call and I just see like Logan and I don't even know these other people. I don't want to put them on blast.
Every heavy hitter you can imagine who's worth $1 billion was on this one call, and Gary V is in the little corner, the little square. He's going.
Oh yeah, they just admitted to it right on his show. Direct market manipulation, that's pump and dump schemes, insider trading. They're creating artificial demand, right? They're pumping the CryptoPunks project with a variety of market makers. 30 of them to be according to them.
CryptoPunks, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be the next Facebook. We're all of us. We're like, okay,
everyone's
Gary.
I'm texting Logan. And I'm like, Gary lost his mind.
Bro, all of us are like, yo, Gary's nuts. Yo, Gary was right again.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
We got to keep the story going. So there's like all these like very successful people in this call. And Gary's just like, everyone shut the fuck up. Here's what you're going to do, and you're going to do it right now. You're all going to buy a bunch of CryptoPunks. And we're all just like, he's like, who here owns one? And like one guy raised his hand, and it's because Gary bullied him into buying it the day before. And we're all just like, are you sure, Gary? And we're asking questions, and he's like, just buy it. I was just so pulled by his like conviction that I bought a bunch.
Wait.
Yeah, I bought quite a few.
How many?
I don't want to say, but
you have to say, please.
I bought multiple ones. Yeah.
Well, bro, are you in double digits, punks?
Just shy.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
imagine he just said 60.
No.
3 zombies.
I bought like 8 of them, and they did pretty good.
And any zingers? Any like real special ones?
I had some that like whatever 20, 30x.
What's a?
We bought a lot with like the cigarettes because I thought that was an interesting attribute, and those did pretty well.
What's another characteristic what's your rarest characteristic, punk?
Well, I've already sold quite a few of them, so I don't.
So there you go. He admitted to dumping, right there. That's obviously pump and dump schemes by Gary, MrBeast, Logan Paul, and a list of influencers, which we're actually going to see a list down below.
What? Dude, he's on to the next thing.
I bought a bunch of, so then I rolled the money into VeeFriends because Gary said.
There you go. Even like that's even more. That's even worse.
Same thing. Called me. He's like, VeeFriends. I was like, I don't fucking know, but last time I made money, sure. And so I basically sold them all and moved the money into VeeFriends.
Can I ask you guys a question? When Gary does that call with all these billionaires and 8 months or a year later, everybody's like, Gary was right again.
Yeah.
Is it possible that he's right because of the call?
Like, I mean, even Logan Paul's friend is calling them out on the situation. It's clear as day to anyone. It's so ridiculous.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I think about that a lot.
Dude, he has all these billionaire market makers in the thing. He makes the call, makes the market. By the way, you look around at all the punk owners a year later, and you're like, damn, it's all the same motherfuckers that were on the call.
No, because, bro, there's 10,000 punks, and there's only like 30 of us on the call. We can only own and do so much. There's still an entire market.
Logan, that's complete bullshit, actually, and we will again see down below. There is 189 wallets who purchased punks during the time frame between Gary... his phone call, or sorry, the first time that Gary purchased his punks, and between the first time that he actually mentioned it publicly on X.
Market that's gonna happen regardless.
I can tell you, I don't think why, because that was all back like early February. Like things.
And exactly. So again, so we can track all the wallets and everybody who purchased punks, and we can cross-reference them, and especially the people who purchased punks and rolled it over to VeeFriends. It's going to be like, you know what I mean? Especially if the dates match. I mean, chances are they were most likely involved.
Didn't pop off till later, and every like NFT project was popping off, not just punks.
I mean, make no mistake.
Again, that's bullshit. No, CryptoPunks was the only project that was actually popping off in February of 2021. So that's actually incorrect. The next project that started popping off was actually Bored Ape Yacht Club in April, end of April, right before VeeFriends. And that project is, again, rifled with, yeah. Anyways, that's a different topic for a different video.
like having such influential people involved in projects, it can't hurt the ability for the project to
but like,
work. You know what I'm saying?
95% of those people didn't even mention it. You know what I mean? Like, I've never talked about it publicly.
Right.
You into like NFTs and.
But you didn't need to. Gary was the one pumping and hyping it to everybody.
General or any other projects that you're excited about?
I mean, I'm mostly a Bitcoin holder, but you know, just it's fun. I literally just like once a month, I'm like, Gary, what NFT should I buy? And then I just
once a month, MrBeast was pumping and dumping with Gary Vaynerchuk. That's insider trading, market manipulation. Once again, they're creating artificial. Gary is obviously going to create artificial demand on any projects that he wants to pump. Like, this is horrible. I can't even believe Logan's team published this. They must hate him. They must obviously want him to go to jail, because this is blatant admittance. And we can even track the wallets. We can see which projects that Gary pumped publicly on X, and then we could track which projects that they purchased and dumped right from their wallets.
buy what he tells me.
So Gary called me, and I'm a collector at heart, which is like why I like the space. Oh, yeah. I like just like
the Pokemon guy.
He's such a fucking bullshitter. No, you're a rugger. You just wanted to extract more money. You saw the amount of money that Gary made, 50 million in his first week, and then you're just like, fuck, I want that fucking money. That guy is the biggest piece of shit.
As a collector,
exactly,
who saw that coming?
Exactly, dude. And so Gary called me, and we have these talks. Like we talk probably every other day at least.
So at least once a week, Gary and Logan were pumping and dumping projects, creating market manipulation, artificial demand, insider trading. Fucking wild, man. These guys are crooks. They're literally stealing money.
Yeah.
And he called me like a month ago. He's like, Logan, I promise you, like, I know you. You're a smart kid. If you play this right, like I know you can, like you do with Pokemon, the NFT industry, you can make $250 million. And I go,
how do you not like perk up?
How is this? But he's never wrong, right? So that's where I started.
Yeah.
And then, bro, the other day, I got the idea.
Yeah.
And I want to run it by you, not now, off the podcast, but I'm pretty sure I had the most revolutionary, monumental piece of IP in my head, and I've been I can't sleep for the past like 2 days.
So like for making your own version of Punk?
No. Just a really, really special NFT project.
And that's where he came up with CryptoZoo, the NFT rug project, and where he extracted millions. Fucking scumbag. Now we go down over here. This is the first time that Gary publicly mentions to old punks. Basically, this was a reference to CryptoPunks. He was mentioning other projects as well. So he was talking about Chubbies, he was already associated with Beeple, made a YouTube video with him. He was pushing So Rare, which is a company he was invested in, and he didn't disclose that information. He would do that a lot, actually. He invested into a lot of companies. He would very rarely disclose that he was invested in those companies, and then he would be selling his products without disclosing that information, which is a violation. Now, Mark Cuban, Chamath were involved in the CryptoPunks pump as well. However, I wasn't able to identify his wallet. It could be Mr. 703, but again, I'm not 100% sure. He was involved on the call with MrBeast. Even this gentleman over here, Jack, knew about it. Here we can see the majority of CryptoPunks that Gary acquired, he didn't even purchase. So he purchased a couple of them, and then all the rest were transferred. So unless he did some kind of backdoor deal, right, which is completely possible, or they were just transferring these CryptoPunks into Gary's wallet in order to just, again, to solidify his credibility, in order for him to extract as much as possible for his own collection, to, you know, become an authoritative voice in the NFT market, essentially. So they were done by Danny Secure, or seedphrase.eth. And Mr. 703 was the other person involved in the transfers. Now, Gary did purchase a couple of them after for a significant sum. And again, I feel like this was coordinated in order to inflate the value of the punks. He wanted to keep the ball rolling, and this was, I believe, shortly right before Christie's CryptoPunks auction in October, maybe September. I'd have to double check now. It's been a long time. This was back in 2021. So yeah, I'm basically asking, what's the relationship with Seed Phrase and Mr. 703? Did he actually buy these, or is he just holding them in his wallet? And then we can see another, he's associated with Seed Phrase. I mean, this is just one example, but several times he's associated with Seed Phrase, doing investments with him. So they do have a deeper connection for sure. And then we also see like Geosiri, MoonPay CEO, Ivan Soto Wright. Again, they're associated with Gary Vaynerchuk in several ways as well. Beanie, the notorious scammer, even raised suspicion about the insider trading in Christie's front run with the CryptoPunks. Gary completely dismissing it, which kind of shows, to me, it shows a sign of guilt, honestly. But he's trying to like divert the attention. Here's FaceBank admitting to Gary's insider trading, market manipulation. Here's MrBeast as well admitting to it again and saying that he loaded up on some VeeFriends again. Look at the Etherscan reports and the OpenSea reports, and if the screenshot is not edited by this man, then that would mean that Wu-Tang Clan is MrBeast on OpenSea. And by looking at the wallets, it does seem like Wu-Tang Clan was 100% associated with Gary, as he purchased several goos at very high prices. Unreal. This was double the value at the time of the goos that we're selling for, which I'll go over in the VeeFriends section. And yeah, so I mentioned that MrBeast will get a phone call from Gary about once a month. Some of the projects that Wu-Tang Clan wallet purchased was Hashmax, Creature World, Koala Intelligence Agency, and MFers, which again were all projects that Gary pumped and hyped and spoke about. Now we see Logan Paul over here. He has 2 wallets. We can see him over here we can see Logan Paul being associated with the CryptoPunks and the VeeFriends over here. Here's FaceBank's wallets over here. He does have 2 AJ Vaynerchuk wallet, which is Gary's brother. He was also involved on the call, purchased. These punks were all purchased before Gary publicly mentioned it on his Twitter. Andy Kranak, the president of VeeFriends, was in on it as well. And we can see him taking advantage of the VeeFriends community, his own community, which is just wild. You don't really see this. More evidence of Andy Kranak's insider trading conflict of interest with his other. This is his secondary wallet that Andy Kranak tried to hide, but obviously we can see here that it's his. He even transfers the ENS name over. Here's D-Rock's wallet, which was also, he was also in on it. Doesn't look like he profited that much, however. So it looked like he was aware, and he is no longer Gary's employee. Interesting. So to me, it looks like D-Rock didn't want to be associated with the fraud. Like, he saw what was happening and he didn't want to be associated with it at all. I could be wrong, but that's what it appears. Tyler Schmidt, on the other hand, Gary's employee, who is general manager of 137 PM. It's like a news media company that Gary is the founder of. Again, that's more like that way he can control narratives, and you know what I mean? He'll promote things that he's invested in without disclosing it, and it's very bad. Anyways, Tyler was also involved on the call, as you can see here, with the CryptoPunks and the VeeFriends. And it looks like he was profiting, eh? Let's see here. No, these are offers. Yeah, so he did sell. He would buy and sell, and then he sold this one. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so look at that flip, which is not, in my opinion, that's not. It shouldn't be. He made a nice profit on this CryptoPunks as well. Carlini 8, which was the we're gonna see her name down below again. I believe she was the project founder of Penelope's Country Club, and Gary actually dumped her NFTs from his main wallet after he pumped it a little bit. Nick Tran, which is TikTok's head of global marketing or something like that, for former employee of TikTok. Chef Pierre was also involved on this. We can see him having the CryptoPunks at this timing with his VeeFriends. Matt Kalish from DraftKings was in on it. And we can see Kevin Rose was in on it, of course. That's Gary's friend. Kevin Rose is also a known grifter. Doesn't have the best reputation already coming into the NFT market. And he now does not have any reputation in a Web3 and NFT market. He completely tarnished his reputation with his own project. Here's Jimmy.eth, his early involvement with VeeFriends. He was actually behind the VeeFriends launch. And then we can see here being involved with the CryptoPunks and VeeFriends, taking profits from his free VeeFriends that he received from Gary. Again, Mr. 703, his involvement matches as well. Danny Secure, his wallet. Sartoshi, the founder of MFers, which Gary actually put into his book games exchange, where you can burn book game NFTs for a mother effer or MFer NFT, which we'll see that down below in the book game section, a little bit more details. There was this trader named Fluffhead, Luigi NFT, Goldman Socks, Rare Behavior, Evan Tan, Ace, 0x Techno, JT 1987, I'm Not Fucking Selling 3, Ponzonomics, RH 2727, Steve Aoki was even involved, as we can see. And he made quite a nice chunk of change from his CryptoPunks. Wild. And here's some CryptoPunks OGs who also purchased VeeFriends. Frank C, Nate Alex are two big traders, big influencers. JT 3003, J Bo, X91, YB2, and DCL Blogger. They actually made a video on YouTube together before all this was going on. Again, it doesn't 100% mean that all of these people were involved with Gary, besides like the ones that I mentioned above. Like these wallets, I obviously can't identify the real person, so it's a little harder to say. They could have been traders. However, when you see examples like this where they're getting free VeeFriends and then they're selling it, no, not this one. There was a wallet that got free VeeFriends and then they were selling it. Shit. But anyways, yeah, let's move on. So yeah, we can see the chart. It coincides with Gary V's CryptoPunks. So it started early. It started in February, sorry, and then it pumped hard in August. It pumped really hard, and then the Christie's auction, and then it had a second wave in January when the crypto market and the NFT market resurged. Gary was constantly talking about Purple Hat. It was his favorite trait. He even included it in his VeeFriends project how Purple Hats were one of the best traits to have. Now I made some charts pulling from Etherscan and OpenSea based on those dates. And here's the analysis of wallets purchasing CryptoPunks from from February 16th to the 21st, which was when Gary bought his first punk, to when Gary first mentioned it on X. Now 24 out of 189 wallets purchased VeeFriends, 49 out of 189 purchased Purple Hat CryptoPunks, 93 out of 189 purchased other projects that Gary pumped, and 59 had no direct affiliation. Now many took profits in the August 2021 pump, and here's my alternative perspective. Again, they might not be associated with Gary V. They might have sold out once they saw how he was such as DLC Blogger. It looks like he sold out very early, so, and then he had no ties with him, so it looks like he didn't want to be associated with him. For example, certain investors might be traders who notice the increased activity, again with the purple hat trade, just with other projects, right? So it doesn't 100% necessarily mean that they were involved with Gary. Several individuals may possess multiple wallets, and then given the opportunity to sell for over $300,000, obviously many people would have done so as well. Yeah, and then I did notice that in March there was some of the same influencers and people mentioned above were also buying in March. Now I did another analysis of purchasing. So VeeFriends dropped in May. Of all those people that purchased in between these two dates, so 113, 59% profited in March to May, right before VeeFriends dropped in May. 65 out of 189, or 34.4%, profited in August and September, which was at the peak. And then 34 of them profited in both periods, which is just very, I don't know, I just find that like interesting because it coincides with VeeFriends a lot. And now we move on to VeeFriends. The first video clip I'm going to show you is someone had sent this to me. Again, I apologize. I do not remember. I had so much evidence sent to me by so many individuals that it was hard to keep track of. I should have done a slightly better job at doing that, so I do apologize. However, I will play the video because this is, again, just more evidence of Gary.
And I send you surprise gifts 6 times a year, aka 18 times over the course of this project. That's going to make your head spin, right? What do you think is going to happen with the 555 people that get the first one, get it in the mail, or in their driveway?
And yeah, so you can see how an example of what Gary does to manipulate his investors and his holders. Here's another way how he manipulates his engagement on social media. He will run giveaways, and he will specifically even tell us what to write and what to tweet and things, right? So he's trying to increase his engagements by running these giveaways. However, these giveaways were already predetermined winners. It wasn't even random. It wasn't... he already knew who he was giving it. It was very strategic. Here he is lying about saying that CryptoPunks are the only things being traded for goos, his special VeeFriends. However, he was selling them for ETH. This is just him, just an example of what he does. Telling people to hold, telling people, encouraging more purchasing right at the peak of the market. This is when I was actually telling people to sell because it wasn't going to turn back around, especially the fact that he separated the VeeCon conference ticket from the VeeFriends NFTs, which was a breach of contract originally. So yeah, the value is going to go down no matter what because there was only going to be two more VeeCon conferences attached to it, and it was going to be a separate airdrop, so it's pulling the value away from the VeeFriends 1. Here's just him being his character. This is just his character. Here's him saying he won't issue more than 10,000, and then he's saying that he might do very small drops. And to me, 200,000 NFTs is not a small drop. When you come out with 10,000 and you say you won't issue any more, and then say you might issue a little bit, like that's not 200,000 NFTs is not a little bit, buddy. Here he is trying to backtrack a little bit, saying that VF1 is the best because Gary kept saying, like, he kept hyping and marketing VF2 at this point, so kind of stopped paying attention to VF1s. That's what it felt like from the community. Here's his new characters that he wasn't supposed to release for another 2 years at this point. This is an old comment, yeah, essentially saying that we went from a supply of 10,000 NFTs to around 250,000 NFTs each earning royalties. So it's no wonder the value from, you know, it went from 60,000 down to 3,000. Now it's even less. This is an older message, but they're like, right, if you're gonna keep increasing your value up, your supply, then your demand's gonna be set, like it's gonna split up into various different ways. Here he is trying to manipulate again. Wait till you see the floor. He constantly talked about his floor. He's trying to pump it as much as he could. And he always said this as well. He always said that he's going to be working on VeeFriends for a long time. Like this is going to be what he focuses on. Here's an example of him calling VeeFriends investments. I just slid this in here because it's just an example of him market manipulating his products. So he had collectible products like stickers, pins, merch. Everything was a collectible that he released. And then he would always try and highlight the eBay resales. But again, based on his character and based on the evidence on the blockchain, how he manipulates and purchases his own NFTs, to me, I would feel like he's obviously going to manipulate his physical products on eBay, and it's actually harder to track on eBay who's buying these. So it could easily be Gary Vaynerchuk and his team, again, trying to price anchoring, trying to increase demand, and so on. Here is a very reputable source that was a big VeeFriends holder at the time. He even knew that the VeeFriends sales and the VeeFriend cards were being made by Gary. Like it's wild. So again, just more evidence of manipulating the market and demand by controlling a significant portion of sales, and it creates inflated perception of the project's success, right? Making it look like it's more successful than what it really is. Here's just a quick example of Gary purchasing his own NFTs. He's done this so many times, and we can see that in his wallets here. So here he owns a variety of VeeFriend related tokens from a variety of his collections. We're going to highlight his VeeFriend Series 1. So he owns 960 from this wallet. And then he owns another 188 from this wallet. So just from two public wallets, he owns 1,148 VeeFriend Series 1 out of 10,000 supply. So that's a clear violation. Here is an example of Gary selling his goose for double the value at the time. And again, we're seeing Aiden Tag. We're going to see his name down below again. Ricky, which is FaZe Bank. Matt Kalish from DraftKings. Wu-Tang Clan, supposedly MrBeast. And here's, yeah, so basically he sold 9 more from this. And I kind of go over setting inflated reference points. He's creating artificial demand and perceived demand and value because he kept saying how special and amazing his goos were going to be. So people were spending 6 figures on these things. He was trying to justify it. However, we all know that we all know today that it was never justifiable. He had nothing to back it. He didn't even develop any of these characters like he said he was going to. And yeah, there's a big it's a conflict of interest. He's earning royalties on this on the back end. He's just being reckless. He's just prioritizing self gains. He's just trying to pump his own project up to increase as much money as he can. So here I go over this. The first 16 out of 23 VeeFriends Goose sales were purchased by 2 accounts. 1D0FF5 purchased 10 and Aiden Tag purchased 6. Aiden Tag is a known, they call him a whale, smart money. He's a market maker for the VeeFriends. Now again, I don't know if Gary gave him this money to do this. That's the only, who knows what's going on behind the scenes. But yeah, we'll see here. It's just the same accounts buying the goose and trying to raise the value up. But again, the value wasn't it was still 5 figures. And then Gary comes in here and he's like, no, let's pump these goos to 6 figures, essentially. To simplify things. Oh yeah, and then this is Andy Kranak's secondary wallet selling a free goo that he received from Gary for 100K. President of his own company, profiting off his own community. It's just gutless. Again, conflict of interest, insider trading, market manipulation. It's fraud. It's completely fraud. Just a week after the project sold out too, after Gary said the goos were going to be special, and you know, they were all hyping and pumping it up. Again, so yeah, this is also an example of artificial demand. This is, yeah, so he's creating artificial demand as well with this. Again, yeah, so these I wasn't 100% sure the best way to format this article, so I kind of took the same evidence to try and explain like how he's creating several crimes with one message or with one screenshot, essentially. That's what I was trying to highlight with these. And he was also price anchoring, right? It's a price anchoring. And here again, controlling that much tokens from, that's only from 2 of his public wallets. He could have more in private wallets that we're not even aware of. And this is an example of fraudulent misrepresentation when he's saying only punks are getting traded for VeeFriends goo, but meanwhile he's taking cash for it or ETH. Here is proof that Gary said that he's not gonna, here's more proof that he wasn't gonna release any more for the next 3 years. Only one of ones, like a small amount. Again, 10,000 to over 200,000 NFTs collecting royalties is that's terrible. That's again, just pure fraud. That's a pure example of fraudulent misrepresentation. And then again, Gary selling his goose for double the price is also the same thing, falls under the same things because the pricing, it doesn't align the claims that he's making. And yeah, again, president, so insider trading, we saw Andy Kranak. So here's an example of AJ, his brother, and even his sister, Lizzie, was dumping free VeeFriends on the NFT community. It's just brutal. Adam Rips, VeeFriends employee, head of collectible brand strategist is what he calls himself. And this is just, again, fraud. It's several. It's market manipulation, fraudulent misrepresentation. He's price anchoring, creating artificial demand, insider trading, and creating conflict of interest by doing this, right? By providing a white glove service, he's directing investors. He's not disclosing financial interests or risks. And he's saying, oh, purchase this character, purchase this character. Then we don't know, like, so is he trying to help specific people that are selling, like his whales? Is he helping his friends, his family, like where, like, you know what I mean? He's directing where these sales are coming from. And then this way he can also control characters. So he can, if he wants to pump one of his 256 characters, he can do that now by directing everybody to sweep the floor on specific characters. Matt Higgins was also involved with VeeFriends. He's Gary Vaynerchuk's business partner with his investment company, which we're going to go down. We're just going to go over in just a second here. He's part of Shark Tank. So yeah, we can see he's buying some here, and then he's selling some here. And then we can see his other, oh no, sorry. Then we can see VeeFriends 2 over here. And then Matt also sold a variety of projects that Gary Vaynerchuk pumped. So they're Vayner Sports Pass, Wolf Game, Rap Strikers, Tom Sachs, Rocket Factory, Flower Girls, Subducks, Curio Cards, World of Women, Crypto Zoo by Logan Paul. Again, big scammer. Crypto Zoo was a rug pull. CoffeeZilla exposed them, along with several others. Here's an article confirming that it is Matt's public, like he confirmed it himself on X. And then this is an example, this is evidence of business partnership with Gary Vaynerchuk. This is actually taken from the SEC. VaynerRC is his investment company. And then, yeah, we see here that he was associated with Matt Higgins prior to VeeFriends. all the way back 2019, even in 2020. Higgins and Gary, through RSC investment firm, acquired Omnichannel, so they have a long history together. And now this presents a conflict of interest because he is, again, directing people into characters with Adam Rips. This is just an example how he would leverage his Discord. He would constantly try to sell products and services. Most of them were collectibles. And then this is how he, I don't know, to me, he lies. I don't think this case is actually worth $150 anywhere. He's just saying it is. When we look up the cases that he's trying to sell with other companies, and a lot of the times the other companies are selling cases for significantly less than what he's claiming. So that's just another example. Yeah, so encouragement of securities, or even worse, encouragement of unregistered securities, because he continuously references VeeFriends as investments. And then we can see in 2022 where he starts to backtrack on this, which is, yeah, everybody's shocked and surprised, right? Rightfully so. This gentleman over here only bought VF1s because of the IPO. So yes, this was a conversation that Gary would initially talk about, saying that we might be included in some revenue share. We're going to be included in the IPO. If a character, yeah, this is actually interesting too, when a character opens up a restaurant with the IP of that character, that we could potentially see some like royalties from the restaurant sales itself. However, when he came out with his Lifeless Club, the NFT restaurant, yeah, it wasn't any NFT characters. It was completely different direction, and it was just pure, again, he was just trying to extract as much money as he could. So here we see the IPO reference being mentioned a few times by different accounts. It's a little harder to find because it was a little bit, it was a early conversation, early 2021, and then he completely stopped that by, I would say by early 2022, he completely stopped talking about it. Here's an example of consumer fraud, sell shaming by Gary Vee. He would constantly say delist. He would constantly say, you're making a big mistake. Well, wait till you see the development on this character, and nothing would ever transpire. There was nothing. Even the NFTs that were coming out with like bonuses down the road, individuals were better to sell and then just purchase it back when the bonuses were made available, because there was such a long gap and the market tanked. And everybody saw the market was going to correct, right? But Gary insisted that it wasn't going to correct on his project, and he did everything he could to, get to encourage his supporters and investors to not sell. And he would even throw like little comments like this, which is not that bad, but like, you know what I mean? It just shows how he's a narcissist at the end of the day. Here's the intellectual property infringement by Karen Ritchie. So this is the artist herself. She published these children's books back in 2018 and 2019. And Gary's drawings are very, very, very similar. And she's a retired nurse, which is kind of wild how Gary would steal from somebody like that, knowing that they don't have the resources to fight back, right? Like, that's the way I'm looking at it, because he's proven it several other ways, which we'll see down below. So I made this quick comparison of his VeeFriends. It's very similar characters. They even share the exact same name. And these are all our children's books that were published a few years before Gary Vaynerchuk's project. And even the background green very looks like, you know what I mean? It's like, it looks like no effort was put into these at all. This was rushed in like a week. That's what it looks like. And then this is like, the character is even the same name. I don't know. To me, it shows clear evidence. It's even coming from the original artist. I did hear somebody say that she can't because she's UK based, but however, that's not true, because she published on Amazon.com. So misinformation. So you'll see the community do that a lot. They'll just come out with these like wild misinformation claims. Like they're just making up stuff as they go. Gary never addresses any of this, of course, so that he just lets the community come out with all these wild theories on why this would be considered property infringement. I heard somebody else say Care Bears, but I mean, like, come on, this is nothing to do with Care Bears, like not even close. Yeah, so there's a lot of people say a lot of ridiculous things in the VeeFriends community, rightfully. I mean, they are biased. Like, there's some of them are vulnerable. So I don't blame them. I mean, I was in their shoes at the beginning. I didn't think Gary Vaynerchuk was fraud until I started seeing all the evidence, and then I sold out, and then I started speaking about it because I felt a certain responsibility to protect investors, right? Now we'll move on to Gary conducting fraud with various NFT projects. He was trying to get as many notable speakers as he could at his VeeCon conference, and a good way to do that was to pump these projects, and then once they were popular with the community, he figured that he would bring them to VeeCon, and that would attract more eyes and different people from the community into his project, into his conference. I mean, it worked a little bit, but not it didn't work to the effect that he wanted to, from various people that have told me who attended VeeCon. And here's a list of projects that Gary pumped, sold from his wallets. We see VeeFriends, we see Iconics, we see even VeeCon tickets. Long Necky Ladies, which was a 12-year-old artist's project, and then she ended up being speaker at VeeCon. Brain Vomit Garden, Penelope Country Club, which was Cardinelli 8's project, who was associated with the CryptoPunks pump. Crypto Cannabis Club, Fame Lady Squad, and then MeBits. So this is just one example of Gary encouraging to buy other projects. Essentially, this was also an example of Gary dumping and earning $100,000 off his pumps for World of Women. Wild. And to be honest, I think he made a mistake. I didn't think he meant to do this from his main wallet, because you'll see here, a day later, he says, no, I didn't pump and dump. Go check the blockchain. Well, we did check the blockchain, and you dumped a day before you said that message, which to me, I don't know. To me, it's like he did it by mistake and he didn't even know. He probably meant to dump it from his other wallet, and then that's why he's saying that. And he's even claiming he didn't. Yeah, so he's saying he didn't dump Plasma Bears, Kuro Cards, Rap Strikers. He's saying, again, he's trying to say he didn't dump. And this is actually interesting too. Even before NFTs, he was accused of pumping and dumping. So, I mean, this is a repeat behavior. And I thought this was just an ironic tweet, because he will always do this. He'll call out other people for scamming and fraud. He'll never apologize or take accountability for himself when he does it, which is very interesting, because he prides himself on being the integrity man, the ethical man. However, from my experience, he has zero integrity, zero ethics. I've been following him for a decade, and it was only until 2021 when I saw how he operates, is when I saw how fraudulent he really is. At first, I was actually defending him, which is I felt stupid. I feel stupid now that I defend him. I feel stupid for even promoting him to my friends and family. I feel stupid for promoting him to the world for 2 years with his NFT project. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I was manipulated, and I know exactly what it feels like. So, but now I'm on the other side, and I feel a certain responsibility to raise awareness, because I feel like everybody should be made aware of his crimes, especially the fact that he's a founder of a children's brand and going that route. It's very concerning. I mean, he's teaching children how to become fraudsters. He's teaching them how to gamble already. I mean, it's bad. Here's Gary creating artificial demand. I mean, with Chubbies. Here's Carlini 8's project, the Penelope Clubs. Yeah, he was price anchoring the Koala Intelligence Agency. I remember this specifically. I was in the Discord when this happened, and Gary was telling everyone not to sell for less than 2 ETH. and the project had a floor of about 1.3 ETH before the market corrected and it went all the way back down to 0.8, and then it dropped further down to like 0.3, which again, I wish I had the picture of the Discord message. I did have it at one point, but I just cannot find it. Here's another example of fraudulent misrepresentation with another project. He was pushing the Nastya project that it's going to be insane, take a play, this is a rookie card, right? Just saying whatever. Here's another example. This will make people money in 6 months. That's direct fraud. Securities violation. Fraudulent misrepresentation. Now, insider trading, again, like I kind of, the article covering just Andy Kranak, AJ, his brother, was involved with Brain Vomit Garden, Women and Weapons, VeeFriends as shown above, Rap Strikers, Curio cards. He even dumped Flyfish Club, which was another, that Gary project that I mentioned, dumping World of Women's, even VeeCon NFTs, Moonbirds, which is associated with Kevin Rose, the other known grifter. He dumped Cool Man's Universe, Creature World, Subducks, Chromie Squiggle, which was another project that Gary promoted heavily, Ringers, Tom Sachs. And then here we see his sister, not as bad, but she did dump the VeeFriends Brain Vomit Gardens and her free VeeCon tickets. And this would present a conflict of interest when he's promoting projects like this, and then his friends and family are profiting off these calls. So not only are Gary's friends and family profiting off the entire NFT community, but specifically the VeeFriends community too, right? Which is horrible. And I don't know how they don't all see it happening right in front of their eyes, and they don't even, some of them don't even realize. I know some of the VeeFriends community don't even care because they're scammers themselves. Like they only care about money and clout. They only care about progressing their careers. So they will convince themselves that there's always an explanation for all these things, right? Oh, this was out of Gary's hands. It's Andy doing it. But then you're still supporting Andy by being involved anyways. I'm ranting. Now let's move on to VeeCon. Yeah, so Gary again manipulating markets by trying to establish the floor, purchasing his own VeeCon tickets. He's trying to pump it up because he did say that they were going to be a couple ETH, which we'll see down below. He would always exaggerate, pump. Like even saying this is wild because he's 170 tickets that were listed on OpenSea, and he's thinking that that means availability, which is very contradictory. That's not the case. People are actually waiting to listen, and they're all the fucking same. The art isn't shown yet. They're all unrevealed. Of course people are not going to list it. You know what I mean? There's no point. There's 174 tickets listed at like $200-300. Like people are going to wait. They're not gonna, you know, anyways. So that again, that's just manipulation, just everything. And then this is him claiming that it's going to be the craziest business development ever. However, the majority of his speakers were people that he literally pumped and marketed just a couple months ago. So they were not known to outside public. He did have some names that were known in the outside public, but the majority were people that he pumped and marketed and hyped that were not known. Here's just an example how he was using the book games market exchange to get more people into VeeFriends conference. It's just like he was burning one of his NFTs for another one of his NFTs. You know, it's just like, just ridiculous. Oh yeah, this is when he claimed that it was going to be the Coachella of NFTs, which turned out not to be the case, not even close. So again, he'll say anything. He always makes these crazy exaggerated stories or exaggerated claims, right? Just like how VeeFriends is going to be the next Pokemon and all this shit. Again, oh, the art hasn't been revealed yet. And then like, I don't know, it's just, he was always trying to price anchor everything. Every single thing that he was involved in, he always had to throw his comments in to try and manipulate or change perceptions of the market in his favor. Now it's an example of, this is a Gary V Mint is another wallet. I believe this one was used more for giveaways. However, it's still purchasing his own NFTs and then at a discount because of the royalties. He believed that they were going to be $3,000 to $5,000 each originally, which is insane. And they were closer to free because he was giving them away. Like, people couldn't even sell them for $200, $300, $400. So again, just brutal. And then again, this is just even worse, is when he was saying that his VF2s and 3 VeeCon NFTs can average 3.5 ETH per, that people could flip into a VF1 this way. And that's what he was trying to imply here, which is, again, absolutely insane. And Series 2 wasn't free. He actually ended up charging $1,000. So that's not correct. And then some of them are even more because he had a bidding war. Again, just lies. And then this was after the first, so the first separation from the first VeeCon, he, again, it was supposed to be your original VeeFriend 1 was supposed to be your way into the VeeCon conference ticket. However, he changed it, and then he was going to drop you a separate NFT as the ticket so he could earn more royalties. And then it just tanked the value of the Series 1 by doing so. So this is a breach of contract, and it fucked everything up for all the investors. I mean, he completely lied to them, right? He completely lied to everyone. And then, yeah, so by the time VeeCon happened, it already corrected back. Like, it went from an 18th floor down to a 10th floor. Right after, yeah, just during that. And then here's just an example of him stealing other people's media. So yeah, he just doesn't care, doesn't do due diligence ever. And then this is him trying to promote that the VeeCon ticket, the VeeCon NFT, is going to be even better than the conference, which is just wild. So yeah, as mentioned, here's insider trading. They're just dumping VeeCon tickets. Like, this is his president of the company, his brother, and his sister. Right onto the VeeFriends community. Now, conflict of interest, because Gary owns 1,128 VeeCon 2024 tickets. He kept 30 VeeCon 2022 tickets for himself after saying he has no tickets left. Someone was asking this. And then, yeah, this wallet contains 3 more. So, yeah, he owns a total of 1,162. Now, to be fair, Gary does give away a lot of these if you promote his project on social media. And that's his way of filling up the conference. From the VeeFriends attendees from last year, they said that they would be surprised if there was even 5,000 people there. To give you a perspective on how this is not even close to Coachella, or the biggest, best business conference ever. And here's the evidence for the breach of contract. So originally, tickets were not open. You have to own the VeeFriends NFT, the first one, Series 1. And then this is when he, a few months later, after he extracted all the money, he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna drop it, we're gonna do a second. Like, he just completely changed. So that's a breach of contract right there. Now we're gonna move on to his child exploitation. So his financial gains from Nastya. Redline News actually has a article covering it. Here, I'll just pop it open real quick. And then, yeah, so you can see him trying to hype it up and pump it up. He's saying that she's going to be the best thing ever. Here's a community member falling for it. And then the rug is pulled. He just stopped talking about it. And I think, according to Philion, which I can show you the video down below, is Nastya's parents did not want this to happen. And Gary went ahead with Nastya's social media manager, and he went ahead and pushed it anyways. And then it was only, I think it had to do with Nastya's parents were going to seek legal action. That's why he had to pull back and offer people refunds. However, his refund process for this collection was a mess, and a lot of people, it was buried in Nastya's Discord. A lot of people didn't even know about it. People had to wait a long time, and they had to send him multiple emails just to get the refund. It took Zach XBT also to cover the misconduct. He's one of Web3's most credible investigators, and he even called out Gary Vaynerchuk for this. Oh yeah, and then this is the video Philion going over it on YouTube, which I can link down below in the description. I will actually provide all the links in this article that are necessary down in the description for everyone, so it's easier for everyone to access. So Time Magazine came out with an article about Nyla Hayes, the 12-year-old artist, Long Necky Ladies project, and then Gary taking advantage of this by pumping and dumping the project, and then having her speak at VeeCon right after, which is wild. I honestly don't even think she was aware that Gary dumped all her NFTs. Here's a deleted tweet right at the time where he was manipulating and exploiting children for financial gain. Again, he deleted this tweet. When he came out with this tweet that day, our entire group chat were very concerned, and we did not like it at all. Like, a lot of us spoke out about it, saying that he crossed the line with this, and it's predatory, very predatory, because he's literally seeking a child just so he can profit. Like, definition of a scumbag. And yeah, and here's the video of him admitting to...
For everybody who's watching right now or listening, if you're good...
a 12-year-old into a cage.
Fucking, it's check. The Jets lost to the to the Patriots 10 years ago.
You really are an assassin.
I was 36. This 12-year-old kid's walking by me after the game. I hip check him into a 12-year-old boy. I'm 36 years old. I hip check him into the cage. His dad turns. I'm like, the fuck are you gonna do about it? Like, I get crazy.
So yeah, very concerning how he's a founder of a children's brand. And here's even more disturbing and inappropriate behavior by CEO of a children's brand, sitting on the lap of Adam Rip, who's associated with various crimes. Adam was 19 at the time and Gary was 48. Very concerning to me and to a lot of people. It's HR's nightmare is to see this. Book games. So this was the first time that he released a significant amount of NFTs. Again, after saying he wouldn't for another 2 years at this point. And it's rifled with fraud. Basically, they needed to purchase 12 of his new book to receive one Book Games NFT. And he gave them 24 hours to do so. And in this method, he extracted 1.5 million from the VeeFriends community and the NFT community from his book sales. This is him thinking that silver frames are gonna hit 5 ETH. He's just throwing numbers out there, price anchoring, once again, artificial demand. He took down this article, which is, I don't know why, concerning. He pushed it back because, yeah, everybody was busy. The exchange, so yeah, so he talks about book games being played forever. However, he comes out with a book games exchange where you're burning the supply of your book game NFTs. So I think here is where he realized he came out with too much NFTs already. And he's like, you know what, like, and then this is also a way where he can encourage, manipulate other projects, right? He can push other projects that he wants. This is him, again, just creating artificial scarcity, market manipulation, fraudulent misrepresentation, creating hype, exaggerated claims. He's constantly exploiting emotional responses, creating market volatility. Everything he does is to benefit himself financially. Book games, because it was done on Immutable X, Token Trove, it was a layer 2. It was a lot easier to hide your wallets this way. And I can only imagine the amount of book games that Gary and his team own behind the scenes. Here's him creating artificial demand, saying that the book games NFTs are going to be a big advantage to Series 2 because, yeah, you were able to burn for them, or you were able to, you had to burn your book game NFTs for a chance to purchase a VeeFriends 2 for $1,000. Just wild. Here he's saying book games NFTs were $240, just trying to, he's just trying to price anchor them. He doesn't want the book games NFTs to fall below a certain value, because then people that did buy 12 are going to feel like, they spent $300, $360, they're going to feel ripped off. Especially with all the hype and pumping and market manipulation that he's done with them. So again, he's saying 2 new characters from his Series 2, which is, again, not supposed to come up for 2 more years. The only way to get them is by burning book games. So he's, again, creating artificial scarcity and urgency by linking his own 2 NFTs, and he's providing a chance to obtain a high demand product. However, from his first project, he was constantly saying, oh, wait till you see what this character does, or wait till you see the development with this character, and nothing ever transpired. So again, he's just, he had 256 characters that he didn't even develop, didn't do anything with, and he's already introducing 50 new ones. It's just it's just for him to, again, a way for him to extract more money. It's just horrible. Just increasing, so he's creating inflated perception of value. It's a conflict of interest because it, again, financially benefits him. He's exploiting investments, and he's creating market distortion by doing this. He introduced gambling mechanics, and it's a children's brand, which is very concerning in my opinion. It's also fraudulent misrepresentation. And here we see conflict of interest examples. So basically he was asking for other projects to donate to his marketplace, and then that way he can push these projects, right? He can pump, and then his friends, his family, his private wallets can profit from. Yeah, so this is him saying that book games are going to be run forever, which is contradictory because he has a burning mechanism and he's encouraging people to burn for rare things, right? So it's not going to be played forever because you're going to run out of tokens eventually. Again, and this is just a future play. He's just trying to, he's thinking that if Ethereum is, and NFTs are still a thing in 10, 20 years from now, he's assuming in his mind that there's people are going to continuously burn. There's probably going to be, I don't know, 10,000 book game NFTs left, and he's assuming that that's going to be worth value. And what's interesting to point out is if you look at any Gary V collectibles prior to 2021, they are all worthless. You go on eBay and you see all his collabs, even his K-Swish collab shoes, they're not worth that much money. All of his collectible wines, he just releases all of these collectibles, and they're not worth money in the future because, yeah, his character is the majority of the public are already aware of his fraudulent nature, and this just solidifies everything. The majority of people are not aware of all of his fraudulent natures. They're aware of some, and I don't think they understand to which extent that he goes and how much money he actually exploits and defrauds from investors. And yeah. And here's a few examples of how he encourages unregistered securities. He creates inflated demand, misrepresented potential profits to encourage purchases, and so he's promoting unregistered securities. So in these clips, he's saying you're 300.
For all of you that missed out on VeeFriends, I'm going to be doing a special airdrop to everybody who has an account that verified that they bought books for you to get access to a very special gift that I plan on being a very good thing for your $360 investment, which I think will go down in price, $300, which will go down in price with the way the algorithms work. We're aware of India, we're aware of the UK.
And here I'll play this one.
That's why everybody asks you that. They don't believe me. They think I'm full of shit because people can't believe good. They're scared to believe in good because they don't want to be let down. Fuck. I hope people understand what's happening here. Don't make a mistake, people. You fucked up with VeeFriends, and I stuck it to you. Don't make me stick this one to you. You got 24 hours. You got 24 fucking hours to not make a mistake. Get your friends to buy 12. They're going to get into the NFT game. Everyone's crying. It's too expensive. $300. You're getting an NFT. It's better than fucking 99% of the fucking bullshit PFP projects that are coming out here. You fucking fuckers. Fuck.
So yeah, you can see here how this is a perfect example of how he manipulates. I mean, it speaks for itself.
I just went into the Discord. I'm watching of how many books people bought. And I'm trying to remind people that you can't mint a bullshit PFP projects right now for less than 300. You can't mint a fucking NFT for 300. 12 of these books is 300. Get fucking smart, everybody. Please don't do what you did with VeeFriends. Please.
Yeah, he's just creating deceit in the last video.
Because I want people to understand this book is going to fucking change lives, which is once again why I'm trying to trick you. I'm going to be very clear here. Seth, Katie, I'm being very clear here. I know that if people are listening carefully, I'm being very literal, that they realize, wait a minute, I need to buy as many of these as possible because Gary's going to airdrop me an NFT. It's going to be worth more than the fucking books. Fuck! Fuck already. Jesus, pay attention. But why am I doing that? Because I know that nobody needs 96 of these. But if they have 96 of them, what are they going to do?
But yeah, those are just just a couple examples of how he manipulates, how he encourages, how that's the way he is. It's literally fraud. And he posted the live videos on YouTube right on his channel. I mean, it's public. It's just wild. Now for his VeeFriends Series 2 project, again, various frauds over here, constantly saying you're gonna regret it, mistakes. You know, we'll say anything to get people to buy. Here he's saying the cars are popping off on eBay, again, subject to manipulation, just the way he is. Most likely him and his teams are purchasing it and inflating the value. This is when he had a free, he had a free box from, a free VeeFriends 2 box, and he pulled 2 1-of-1s. What are the chances of that? Obviously, it's just proving that his boxes are pre-packaged, like he knows what's in them, right? So in that way, he can give the rares to his loudest community members, which in his hope, in his mind, will bring more people to purchase cards and NFTs from Gary V. And then this is how he would promote certain characters. His Discord was significantly worse. Here, very contradictory because he doesn't want to create speculation. As we can see, that's literally all he does. Yeah, this is him being contradictory, saying that 2024 is going to be an insane year for VeeFriends storytelling, which he also said in 2021. Yeah, so this is, again, market manipulation. He's encouraging others who purchase, and he's encouraging others to purchase and create content in hopes that so he's creating a speculative market directly by doing this, by encouraging specific things like this, right? Now he's saying he's going to give you another VF2 if you buy one. At the time, they were going for like $60. Back down from the originally $10,000 that he said it was going to be. Absolutely wild. Now he's pumping these characters. He pumped this character, his own Gary B character, this one, and Sparrow. Just constantly promoting characters. In his Discord, he would say the more detailed messages to his supporters, like, wait till you see the development and wait till you see what I'm doing with this guy. I just got off the phone. I just got off a meeting with this person and it's going to be great with this character. Just like outlandish things like that. And again, never any follow-up, nothing ever done, just lies and deceit. Here's Gary purchasing VeeFriends 2. Trying to sweep his own floor. His Gennady public wallet owns 558 VeeFriends 2. The Book Games Exchange owns 124. So this is what's, yeah, that's, I don't know. Whoops. And then this is the VeeFriends dev wallet. It just has one, but it's got other NFTs from his other projects. And his vault owns another 882. So he, in total, he owns 1,575 from 4 of his public wallets. Again, I can only imagine how much he owns from his private wallets. It's a significant amount. And then this is him promoting the sperm whales, again, creating market manipulation. Again, more market manipulation, speculative buying, and artificial demand. And yeah, I wanted to use this example again because it's also an example of price anchoring. When you're telling everyone it's going to be worth $10,000 each and didn't even come close. Even I made a prediction which was significantly more accurate. And again, you can see here the floor is not even 0.3. At the time was like $400 maybe, which is still a lot of money. But yeah, not even close to $10,000 because there's just way too much NFTs. He was coming out with 55,000 more. And they were too childish. Like, just look at the art. I knew the community, there's a lot of adults and there's a lot of, like, they're more into like the, yeah, they're not really into the kids brand stuff. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, there is a small subset of people who are involved with this, of course, but the majority of the NFT market is not involved with children stuff and children brand. So I just knew that there was no demand. The demand was going to come from his VeeFriends investors and supporters, and maybe a couple people that missed out on it that were following, like, on his YouTube stuff. Mostly younger people, I would say. Younger individuals, young 20s, that came into VeeFriends too. And here's an example of fraudulent misrepresentation. Again, he had these new characters set up on bid, creating a false sense of urgency and scarcity. Even the bidding process was subject to manipulation by fake bids. And the NFTs auction, they lack the promise of development or value, right? Because he hasn't proved anything yet. Like, it was so fresh and so new. It's like, why should we? There was no reason why these things would be worth more. And for some, just because it's emerald, like, you know, spectacular, like these words, these buzzwords that he was trying to, like, you know, trying to make them seem like they're worth more. And then he's, yeah, this is hilarious, claiming that a frog is a rookie. It's just ridiculous. Rookie cards, first of all, rookie cards is sports related. When you're an athlete, I've never heard anyone try to compare a character in a children's brand to a rookie card. That's just ridiculous. People don't even call Charizard and Pikachu rookie cards from the original Pokemon collection. Like, that's just wild. And again, him just price anchoring these more VeeFriend 2 related things. MrBeast supposedly profiting from VeeFriend Series 2. Here's Kevin Rose profiting from VeeFriend Series 1 and 2. As we shown above with Adam Rips, he was doing the same thing with the VeeFriend Series 2. It's just an example. Yeah, it's like I've spoken about. Conflict of interest. He can direct anyone he wants into any character that he wants, any seller that he wants, right? So like his market makers will say, again, just use Aiden Tag as an example. Aiden Tag probably has 500 NFTs, right? And he's trying to help him out unload so that he doesn't have such a big loss. I mean, it's easy for Gary to manipulate the market and do that when he has a white glove service like Adam Rips. Now this is Gary again conducting consumer fraud, now sell-shaming his people, saying don't list, don't list, don't list. But again, the market is in a corrective state. It's dropping down way more than a correction, right? Like the NFT market was already down like 80%, and he's still telling people this. And it was going to continue to go down because we were in that part of the cycle. And again, he's not adding value to these VeeFriend 2s. At the time, there was no benefits. There's no utility to these. And here is Gary and team conducting theft from other VeeFriends investors and holders. The first notable one was Doreen. It was the art. And here I got Hash Bastards, who is a very vocal voice against Gary as well. An early supporter who also saw all the fraud and didn't want to be associated with him. So he's doing the right thing here by calling him out and trying to, it's accountability, trying to, let's clear the air. And as you can see here, it's a blatant copy. And the team lied about it, which makes it even worse. They were in the VeeFriends Discord lying about it, sending videos to their supporters. They even sent videos to me because I was in the Discord calling them out. So Andy and Gary both sent a video message to me, and they were just lying to me. I knew that they already saw the art because the text messages with Andy and Doreen. And Doreen also submitted her art into like a little contest. So they already saw it. It's just wild. Just pure. And then Andy even came out with like a quote like a few days later, or a week later, saying that it was like a quote like good artists create and great artists steal or copy or something like that along those lines. It was terrible quote. Just trying to rub salt in the wounds or what, bud? Like. And here's a Loix art that got so it's Loix art on Instagram. They took it without his permission, without any shout outs, and they just put it on the Ledger collab with VeeFriends. It's wild. No compensation, no credit, no shout outs, nothing. And then here's them stealing tech, an application that Jacob was working on with his team, and they completely stole it. And there's, again, so much evidence in the Discord, and Hash Bastard did a great job at covering it. Even Jacob came out with his side of the story as well with the receipts. Jacob had to get a lawyer involved just for Gary to be held accountable to this, which is absolutely wild. It just, again, shows the nature of Gary. He's willing to steal from his own investors and his own supporters. That's just crossing the line amongst already the 10,000 lines he's crossed. Now here are others exposing Gary V. Nerd City's video I found after I posted my original article. And this is probably one of the best videos I've ever seen on Gary V, exposing his true nature and character. Specifically they did a very good job with the book games portion of it. Yeah, one of the best videos on Gary Vaynerchuk's fraud that's out there right now. Here's the podcast with the associated commentary with Pyrocynical, Nerd City, Colossal is Crazy, and Dull and Darker, which it explains a little bit more in detail. They're both must watch. I mean, just so much evidence, overwhelming video evidence in his original video. Now I have a list of YouTubers in my original article that are already exposing Gary Vaynerchuk, have already exposed Gary Vaynerchuk, and I have a lot of former VeeFriend holders and the general NFT community also raising awareness and speaking up about how Gary Vaynerchuk's fraudulent activities. And here's a little bit more that I was able to find on Twitter. Again, Do It Big Chicago was a big holder, and yeah, he's very vocal at holding him accountable. He's just like me, sold out, saw the fraud, sold out, cut ties, because Gary is not the person we think he is. Legend was host in Discord. In the Discord, he was a mod for VeeFriends. He got to see a lot of of how Gary operates, and he's also speaking out about it. Very good account to look into if you want to get a better sense of VeeFriends and Gary Vaynerchuk. Now here's the video with Gary and Ty Lopez. Article by Cointelegraph reporting Ty Lopez's NFT project scam and rug pull. But they forgot to mention Gary Vaynerchuk for some weird reason. And here is Logan Paul face banks and Farouk and Beanie's association with Gary. In the other article, I did reference Logan Paul and Beanie. CoffeeZilla exposing Logan Paul. And here's Hash Bastards exposing FaZe Banks as well, as he was also part of Logan Paul's and the Gary Vaynerchuk's CryptoPunks pump with another, again, with a variety of other NFT projects as well, not just the punks. And yeah, Hash Bastard does a good job at covering everything over here, including FaZe Banks. And then not only that, is Logan Paul and FaZe Banks also released their NFT projects and scammed people, which is even wild. But yeah, I'll let you guys take a look at all the evidence over here. Pause it if you see something you like, of course, and if I'm going too fast, I apologize. Here's FaZe Bank rolling profits over to VeeFriends. Here's Gary paying FaZe Banks and Logan Paul. This was back in August 2021. Here's an example of FaZe Bank promoting a rugged cryptocurrency. And then over here, it was again before Gary publicly mentioned. And like he's already taken profits after Gary mentions it publicly. And Farouk is a notorious pump and dumper. Again, I spoke briefly about him in the original article. The majority of people know in the NFT community that he's made 7 figures pumping and dumping off his community. Yet he put his money into like a rug radio program now, and it's very bad. Even Eric Zetterstein, an employee of VeeFriends, was a speaker at VeeCon, and yeah, he's fully aware of Gary's fraudulent activities. And he's not bringing awareness or anything like that to the people. Now, my closing statement. So yeah, basically the summary of the fraudulent practices. Yeah, there's a lot of evidence that Gary is involved with numerous financial criminal activities. It's consistently market manipulation, insider trading, pump and dump schemes, sell-shaming practices with a variety of projects. He promotes unregistered securities, makes unsupported claims, and uses psychological manipulation on vulnerable individuals. He's also price fixing, price anchoring, and creating artificial demand at the same time. I mean, he's deceiving his followers, his investors, the community constantly. He just wants to enrich himself, his staff, his family, at the expense of his investors and supporters. And then he uses all that money from fraud to start his children's brand, basically, like to keep his children's brand growing, which is very concerning. And not only for just Web3 and crypto and NFT market, it's concerning for everyone that has a children, any parents out there. They should completely avoid this man. The impact on investors, I mean, I spoke to at least 50 individuals that are seeking refunds because they were deceived. They felt they were defrauded, like you're right, like they were completely manipulated and lied to. He didn't hold up his end of the bargain. Just full of excuses from Gary and Gary's team. Never takes accountability for anything. It's always somebody else's fault, or always something else. Someone else's. Yeah, it's always something else. A lot of people already sold and took the profits and moved on. A lot of people A lot of former VeeFriend holders are in the same boat as me, where they don't see Gary Vaynerchuk as legitimate. They actually see him as a fraudulent scumbag that he truly is, and that he did truly extract 200 million from the NFT market as a whole, and more. Now, the importance of awareness and vigilance, again, I mentioned it several times in this commentary already. It's bad for society. It's bad for the community at large. It's bad for the investors. I mean, it's going to be hard to grow the NFT space or the crypto space with people like this being constantly put on a pedestal, especially when big names and big influencers, besides a handful of them, are speaking up about this, right? And not only that, he tarnished the reputation of other companies like Pepsi, Budweiser, Bud Light, MLB, right? Good luck for them to enter back into Web3. Why would anyone trust them after what they've done under Gary's company and direction? Now, the role of education. Investors obviously need to conduct thorough research before making any final decision, performing due diligence by analyzing market trends, which is very important. That way, Gary can't tell you something's going to be worth money. Like, you should be able to tell that yourself. Understanding the fundamentals of investments and utilizing various tools to make informed decisions. Education, yeah, plays a crucial role in the process. Yeah. Utilizing investment courses, yeah. Yep. Staying informed, yeah, exactly. It's just doing research. Like, it comes down to research. Yeah, you got to research everything especially when you invest in NFTs, crypto, and you have to do critical thinking. And always look at both sides. Don't just look at one side because they're going to be biased, and don't look at just the negative side because they might be biased too. Like, it's good to look at both sides and then get a clear picture to understand everything. Call to action for investors. Yeah, especially in the NFT market, it's good to have healthy doses of skepticism, especially when individuals are influential and they're promising returns and promising, good things. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but some people just fall for it anyways. I know there is a lot of gamblers in the NFT market, and they probably don't even care that Gary's fraudulent, right? That's 100%. I get that. Now, the community generally does a good job at holding some bad actors accountable. However, there are a lot of people who are in positions of authority, and they will continue to exploit their influence and manipulate narratives and projects to enrich themselves. There's a lot of big name influencers that are not raising awareness for some reason or another about certain bad actors, and they could have vested interest. There's a long list of reasons why they're doing it. However, like, that tarnishes the market. Like, people will not come into a market where we're promoting bad actors. It just doesn't make any sense. And so, yeah, so when we're promoting these bad actors and we're putting them on pedestals and, they're the face of the NFT market, but then anybody could just do a quick Google search and find out that they're actually fraudulent, well, it doesn't look good at all. It just makes it look like we're a bunch of scammers. Like, you know what I mean? Regulators definitely need to step up. I mean, I just don't understand how they could charge Tom Billier and, like, Impact Theory and Stoner Cats when Gary was significantly worse at the time. That to me is wild. Again, a trusted source has told me that Gary privately settled with the SEC. I obviously cannot find any like direct evidence or hard evidence of that, but the trusted source has told me this. It wouldn't surprise me for one bit, as it is a known tactic from influential and celebrity like figures. It's common. But yeah, I feel like they should raise awareness with like Gary Vaynerchuk, Kevin Rose, Ryan Carson, even Banks, MrBeast. Like, these people they should be facing public like scrutiny a little bit. Like, they should be held accountable for what they've done. They profited 6 to 7 figures off fraud at the end of the day, and there's no accountability by regulators right now. It's kind of concerning. Now, my final thought, personal note. This is just my, like, from everything that I've gathered from everyone that I've spoken to, including employees, people that were deep in like deep close with him in the, like the gift goat community and things like that. So yeah, because of his because of his divorce and then his percentage stake in VaynerMedia, I was told that it was reduced, and then this is why he focused everything into the NFT, because he was observing the rapid growth from August 2020 to January 2021 with the Top Shots, and then he got pulled in, and then he started doing his thing, and he saw the opportunities that he was going to be able to leverage and exploit and continue his lavish lifestyle. He knew he was going to be able to do this from at least since February 2021. And then, yeah, I do mention that most likely has private wallets given his character behaviors. I mean, he's out on YouTube doing anything for $50 profits and celebrating that like it's like the best thing ever. So, I mean, like, we're talking 4, 5, 6 figures here. Absolutely. I would not be surprised for 1 second if he had many private wallets dumping those NFTs just like he did with the World of Woman and just taking his gains. And I am committed to truth, especially in the NFT and Web3 market. But as a whole, like my whole premise is my Substack is dedicated to committed to truth. It's just to help alleviate misinformation, to shed light on myths and, you know, pseudoscience. And so this falls perfectly in. I was fortunate enough to be involved with this project and to see everything that I saw, and I just feel a certain responsibility. I have to bring awareness, or else I'm part of the problem as well. People are going to continue to be manipulated, especially vulnerable people, parents. And that's, yeah, I definitely want to warn them and raise awareness. And I feel like Gary needs to be held accountable. Like, justice needs to be served. He should be charged by the regulators. I mean, to the extent of damages he's done, he should probably even go to prison, in my opinion. But that's a whole different topic. He should definitely 100% refund everybody that invested in his garbage products. Just ridiculous. Now, let's move on to additional insights. This was just a little bonus that I wanted to add in because there is, again, there's so much. He's involved with so much that I could write a whole book or a novel on this man, just from 2021 to 2023 in the NFT market. Such a short period of time. So his company Vayner3, formerly known as VaynerNFT, just a variety of projects that he came out with and associated with his POP projects. So like Dapper Dinos, for example. Girls Gang was another one. Blue Studios, which he never followed up with. This project didn't even sell out, and then he just kind of never talked about it, never gave us any updates or nothing. It's very bad. Here's his NFT restaurant. Philion, again, does a very good job at exposing his NFT restaurant with a lot of evidence. It was bad. It was bad. It wasn't even going to be ready for at least, I don't even know if it's ready now. But it wasn't, at the time, it wasn't going to be ready for at least a year. So he was like selling, like it's like almost like he's, no, it's exactly what he's doing. He's selling, like he's using the money to start up. It's a startup. Like he's using the money to fund the restaurant idea, and he gets all this upfront capital, and then he's continuously making royalties every time it's sold. It's just wild. Especially when the NFT restaurant wasn't even ready. Nothing was done and ready. Here's the VeeFriends Iconics. Again, price anchoring these. He encouraged people to buy these. There's going to be a surprise and like all this stuff. Yeah, he's saying that if you're in the NFT world that you should consider becoming a VeeFriends holder. But again, like, why would anyone associate themselves with fraud? That's wild. Here's his Vayner Sports Pass project with his brother AJ. And he had that ready right after VeeFriends 2, so that the money that the people that didn't get on the friends list for VeeFriends 2 that couldn't mint the VeeFriends 2, then they could just roll that money over to VeeFriends Pass instead of going to a different NFT project. And then here's Hash Bastards calling him out again. Here's the Pepsi mic drop fail NFT that he did. His association again, VeeCon. This comes from his VaynerMedia connections. Same with Budweiser. And that's when he announced Vayner3, his NFT consulting firm. So he took, I can only imagine how much revenue he took in from this, from his like commissions, royalties. You know, he gets a percentage off the mints. So when a project sells out, he gets a certain percentage off the upfront sales. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he made another like 7 figures off all these, from his Vayner3 company, because of all these things. 7-Eleven, Roblox, Johnny Walker. Here's an example of the 137 he uses for marketing, and he just pushes his own products and services, doesn't disclose anything. He's invested in companies, like I said, and he's pushing products, and it's just so much conflict of interests. Crown Royal, Bud Light NFTs, the Reddit NFT marketplace, and the GameStop NFT marketplace as well, he was pushing. And MLB, he even partnered with Candy Digital and MLB. And that was a bust. Again, direct securities violation, telling people they're going to make money in 6 months by holding a card on a terrible platform. And here is another wallet by Gary Vaynerchuk purchasing Hashmax early on, and then his Candy Digital airdrop. Thanks everyone for taking the time to watch and listen to my commentary on the revised article on Gary Vaynerchuk's fraudulent activities in the NFT market. I do appreciate it. Please share. Let's help raise awareness. I feel like it's extremely important, especially the fact that he's the founder of a children's brand. Thank you very much. Have a great day.